The member from Newmarket Aurora.
Question, Speaker, is to the Premier. Speaker, I was in Thunder Bay for the last 2 days, and at every meeting that I attended with representatives of local business and local government and individuals, the topic of discussion, top of mind, was the lack of leadership on the part of this government when it comes to the economic welfare of Northern Ontario. The latest blow came when the Premier and his Minister of Infrastructure refused to support the TTC's announcement that it had selected Thunder Bay's Bombardier to construct 204 streetcars. Speaker, that's a contract that's worth more than $1.2 billion and would guarantee hundreds of jobs in Thunder Bay. Will the Premier today remove all doubt and commit his support to ensuring that...
Thank you. Premier.
Speaker, to the Minister of Energy and Infrastructure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to say to the honourable member that later on today with our Thunder Bay caucus colleagues, I'll be meeting with Mayor Lynn Peterson, the Mayor of Thunder Bay, someone that's very, very well known to me. We'll certainly look forward to the opportunity to have a conversation about that community's infrastructure priorities, not to mention the opportunities with respect to Bombardier gaining a greater order book with respect to transit procurement here in Toronto. To remind the honourable member, our government recently made a commitment for $9 billion worth of transit infrastructure in the Greater Toronto Area, which in and of itself will influence additional procurement. Mr. Speaker, we've said with respect to the matter in the City of Toronto, it's important for them to establish what their priorities are, as there have been a wide variety of things spoken about, and we will work, as we have been with the City of Toronto and the federal government, to try and find resources to make sure that this procurement moves forward, as it was already announced by the City of Toronto.
Precisely that kind of rhetoric that concerns the people of Thunder Bay. There's a very specific contract that the TTC has awarded. It is worth $1.2 billion and hundreds of jobs. This is an opportunity for this government to take decisive action. It's not about more rhetoric. It's about whether or not this government will stand up with their Minister of Northern Development and Mines, who said he's very excited about this. Why can't the Premier and the Minister of Infrastructure get as excited about this as their colleague, the Minister of Northern Development and Mines, and stand up for the people of Northern Ontario? Let them know today that these jobs are secure and that the Government of Ontario will stand behind this contract. Will he do that today?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I do think that the honourable member who has both the experience in this legislature, a former member of a government, who witnessed his own government filling in a concrete hole, the tunnel that had been under construction for new transit infrastructure, albeit along Eglinton Avenue, where we've committed to it. I think he's standing on rather flimsy ground. The member also mentions, Mr. Speaker, that the party in question has already entered into a contract related to the procurement. We think it's important that Toronto be prepared to invest in the revitalization of its transit infrastructure alongside that of the province, Mr. Speaker. We have $9 billion committed. We want to be a partner with the City of Toronto in continuing to advance access to transit for Torontonians. But we do think it's also important, Mr. Speaker, that before people are in the public domain committing another level of government for resources, which they know had not arrived at a level of commitment, Mr. Speaker, that we proceed with some additional caution. Well, that's why we're working with all parties involved, Mr. Member.